Huh. I'm surprised the actual last video did so quite well. Maybe I'll continue doing more. So without any further ado, hello everyone, my name is Yugioh and welcome back to Rush Duel Archetypes. So, as you've already seen, the last video's done quite well, and I like doing this sort of stuff, so let's keep going. However, it may take time between videos as research takes a lot of time, but I'll do my best and we'll keep making videos. Without further ado, let's keep going, and with the new archetype being the Strike Dragons. Brandon, wrong one. Okay, let's try that again. The Strike Dragons. Brandon, no, not the Strike Dragons. The dragons that stare at you and do what? Do want to eat you? Okay, just them ones. Okay. Thank you. Yes, that's right. Thank you. The Strike Dragons. The Strike Dragon archetype. First introduced in the starter pack, starter deck Luke Explosive Supreme Dragius, with the archetype being primarily used by Lucian, aka Lucian Callister, aka Luke, and his manga counterpart, as well as another duelist from the Rush Duel Live Points being Tatsumi Azuma. So this archetype is quite interesting because I think there's a general basis of understanding the archetype. So let's get to the rules. So they must have the ability to attack more than once. I am not joking. The main reason why they call Strike Dragon is because they attack more than once. Must be Dragon type monsters or related to it. Fusion materials are countered, but not all fusion materials are listed in this video. Main deck monsters must be level 7 or higher, which is another key rule, and I don't know why Jay's there. I think it was another rule, but I think I'll remember once we get it later on. Because there is one exception to this archetype. When we get to it, I'm going to explain somehow how it's connected to the Strike Dragons. So without further ado, let's get straight to the main deck monsters, starting with the Dragon, a level 1 light attribute dragon type monster with 0 attack and defense. Its flavor text reads, a dragon of justice that makes you envision a supernova clashing. The name is the Dragon. Again, this is one of the surprisingly main fusion material for the Strike Dragons, as this little guy here is what makes all the level 9 fusions. Well, 3 of them, but then 3 are quite an impact and do all sorts of things. This is also the first occurrence of basically, well, not first occurrence, but a second occurrence of different types being made in Rush Duels. Yes, surprisingly enough, this monster was made because Luke as a baby wanted to create fusions and created the Luke Man. So that's why he exists. So we're going to get to now the effect monsters, as this is the normal monster in this list. Again, don't blame me. So we're going to get to Piercing Dragon Bunker Strike, a level 7 Earth attribute dragon type monster with 2,300 attack and 1,800 defense. The requirement for its effect is to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard during the turn this card is normal summoned. Draw cards equal to the number of face-up monsters your opponent controls, then place them from your hand equal to the number of cards drawn by this effect, either to the top or bottom of your deck in any order. This is the one exception of this archetype. It doesn't classify itself as having Strike Dragon within its full name, however, Dragon and Strike are still referenced in it, which seems kind of off, but however, this is actually, I have gone and done research on this, and if you want, you can, clarify this for me, editor, that I have done my research. So yeah, this monster is classed as a Strike Dragon. And obviously, it being kind of oddball and not having the ability to attack twice, but it basically gets most of your dragon stuff that you need. So I won't worry too much about it. So next we move on to the main guy, Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius, a level 7 light attribute dragon type monster with 2,500 attack and 1,500 defense. The requirement of this effect is to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. When this card destroys a monster by battle, this card can make a second attack during the battle phase. Again, you guys already know this guy as from, 7 Gears, and me explained 7 Wonder Turbo for you, and how much this guy, I can't say he sucks, because to be fair, he kind of just exists. He was shown in episode 2 obviously when Luke used it against Yugioh and won, and it's been basically Luke's main primary monster ever since. And let's be fair, with the ability, I'm not gonna lie, this monster kind of also is very good, but also made the Strike Dragons kind of weaker. I'll explain that in the next one, but I will clarify this now. The ability to destroy a monster and then attack again, it will only be declared on other monsters. Not direct attacks, only Dragius can. So yeah, unfortunately mate, you are a prime example of not to be overpowered. Next we have Illusion Strike Dragon Miragius, a level 7 Dark Attribute Dragon type monster with 2500 attack, 1500 defense. The requirement for its effect is to send one level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. You can target 2 level 7 face-up monsters, level 7 or lower monsters your opponent controls. On the field, they lose 1500 attack until the end of its turn. And if this card destroys a monster by battle, it can make a second attack on a monster during the battle phase. Yes, this is literally from onward. That last line of text on it can make a second attack on monsters during the battle phase will carry on for each of the other Strike Dragons. Just because of how broken Dragius can be, especially like really early on. But Illusion Strike Dragon Miragius is actually kind of decent, surprisingly. Though it can still be affected by trap cards, it basically weakens all your opponent's higher level monsters. So stuff like Blue Eyes White Dragon, and some of the maybe powerful fusions like Cyber End Dragon, Seven Rose Warlock, Seven's Paladin, can all be affected by this, and they can still get crippled, basically. So the next one is Steel Strike Dragon Metageus, a level 7 Dark Attribute Dragon type monster with 2500 attack and 1500 defense. The requirement for its effect is to send one level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to your graveyard. This card cannot be destroyed by opponent's trap card effects. Also, it can make a second attack. Also, if this card attacks a monster, it can make a second attack on monsters during the battle phase. Now, this monster being unaffected by trap cards is kind of one of the best ones, and was actually the last main Strike Dragon to be revealed in the actual anime series. And to be fair, Luke used him basically at the end of season 1 with Illusion Strike and Dragius, with Illusion and Multi-Strike, because of how good it is with the 3. And you'll see why when we get to a spell card, because as you notice, they're all basically different attributes. They're either earth, light, or dark, which is kind of interesting. So next we have the North Strike Dragon Yugioh, a level 7 Dark Attribute Dragon type monster with 2500 attack and 1500 defense. The requirement of this effect is to send one level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. You can change one face-up level 8 or lower monster your opponent controls on opponent's field to 0 until the end of this turn. Then this card can attack a monster. It can make a second attack on a monster during the battle phase. This being one of the 2 manga exclusive cards, it was kind of a way to beat Roa in the manga for Luke, as the Supreme Luke manga basically just said, yeah, screw Yuga, we're going to put Luke as the main character now. And that's kind of how it went. But this being one of actually Luke's, more recognizable dragons in that manga, as he does use another one as well, and them two kind of bounce off each other. Being Clady Soul Dragon Gargius, a level 7 Dark Attribute Dragon type monster with 2500 attack, 1500 defense. The requirement for its effect is to send one card from your hand to your graveyard. Send this face-up card in the field to the graveyard, then special summon one level 7 dragon monster from your hand face to the field. It gains 1500 attack until the end of this turn. Now, it being a literal way to bring out any of your Dragius monsters and make them have literally 4000 attack by just sending another card in your hand to the graveyard is kind of funny. However, it also is kind of, weakening. Because in your hand, if you have literally that, another level 7, 2 normal monsters, and any other card, your hand is then just empty. You're just relying on a beat stick. It's a good way to end duels, but it's not a good way to start a duel, if you know what I mean. However, we're not done with the main deck monsters, as for the first time ever I think the first time ever, these monsters got an outsider support in obviously the manga being a maximum monster. So let's discuss Great Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius Burst, left and right. We'll start from the left to the right. So the left is a level 7 light attribute dragon type monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense. The requirement for its effect is in maximum mode, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. This card can make up to 3 attacks during its turn, then shuffle this card from the owner's into the owner's deck during the end phase. Next, the centerpiece being a level 10 light attribute dragon type monster with 2500 attack and 0 defense, but its maximum attack at 3500. The requirement is being in maximum mode, and continuous effect of it is this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's trap effects. Then the right being again level 7 light attribute dragon type monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense. The requirement of its effect is to send the top 3 cards of your deck from your hand to the graveyard. Send 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard. This card can gain 1000 attack, and if you do, this card can inflict piercing battle damage. Yeah. This one monster has had literally twice the appearances in the manga than Yugioh had than any of the other main characters in that manga, basically. In other words, you got to saw this thing more times than you actually did Luke re-challenging opponents. The only opponent he re-challenged was Yuga Oda. And that was from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 17. I am not joking. This monster, however, considering other maximum monsters exist, it's not that good. Being that 2 of its material are level 7, being 2 of its pieces are level 7 and 1's level 10, you're basically stuck with a hand of level 7s. More of a ratio, especially trying to put that into a deck composition. Yes, it has very powerful effects, but then it comes to a matter of counterbalance, with being able to attack 3 times, but then you're kind of left defenseless when it goes back into your deck. So for this card, I'd say use it at your own risk. So we're going to go to the fusion monsters, and because of, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, we have new monster types for these, as Luke has shown. So we have Hyper Strike Dragon Dragistar F, a level 9 light attribute high dragon fusion effect monster with 3000 attack, 2000 defense. The materials for this summon is Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius and the Dragon. If the only monsters in your graveyard are high dragons or dragon type monsters, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. The multi-choice effect of this card is this turn it gains 900 attack and can make 2 attacks from opponent's monsters. Its other second effect is this turn this card gains attack twice, and if it attacks a defense position monster, it can inflict piercing battle damage. So yeah, it being limited with its first effect to strike twice, but it gains a 900 boost, so 3/9 is okay. But if you want to end a game and they're all on defense, you just attack twice and inflict piercing battle damage. So this being the actual first fusion for Luke himself to actually appear, this was one of his literal most summoned fusion monsters, if I can't lie. Like, any opportunity, because I'm not gonna lie, the way the anime was structured, you would always constantly see Luke with the dragon in season 2 after becoming the Luke man. So that and Dragius just made this, and yeah, I can't lie, it's a cool looking monster, and I like the ability to have like a baby dragon and an elder dragon fused together to make a more powerful, wiser dragon as a high dragon. But for me, it just kind of seems redundant. Because, yes, it's taken the cosmos of the powers, but yeah, you're just left with some also what of disappointment. As this thing can just get magic cylindered. Twice. If you have a way to recycle it. Next we have a Haze Strike Dragon Miragia Star F. A level 9 Dark Attribute High Dragon Fusion Effect monster with 3000 attack and 2000 defense. The fusion material of this card is Illusion Strike Dragon Miragius and the Dragon. The requirement for its effect is to send the top card of the deck to the graveyard. Up to 3 face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 1500 attack until the end of its turn. This card can make 2 attacks on monsters during this turn. Or its second effect being just this card can attack directly its turn. Yeah. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you can't use its first effect and you're against a maximum player, just hit him directly in the nuts. I can't lie, you just strike him directly. This is what this card's main existence is for. Just dealing with maximum monsters. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm sorry, buddy, but your one use is just maximum monsters, which just get dealt with anyway, because it's still affected by traps. They can't be destroyed by them, but they can still be affected by them. So, sorry, bud, but you're not really as good as you would think. Next, we have Sturdy Strike Dragon Metageus Star F. A level 9 Dark Attribute High Dragon Fusion Effect monster with 3000 attack and 2000 defense. The fusion material for this is Steel Strike Dragon Miragius and the Dragon. The requirement for this effect is to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. All face monsters you control on your field gain 500 attack until the end of this turn. Also, this card can make 2 attacks on monsters during its turn. All face monsters in your field cannot be destroyed by a battle or your opponent's trap card effects until the end of this turn. Also, this card can attack twice during this turn. So, the second effect allows it to attack twice without the restriction of being affected by, trap cards and can't be destroyed by battle and just attacking your opponent directly for free. There's a no-brainer why this seems to be one of the best fusions for him. I say that, but it also has its own limitations. Yes, sending the top card of your deck to the graveyard isn't the end of the world, but you also kind of you need an actual field for this, and if you don't have the things for that field, you're kind of screwed. So it then kind of just makes it redundant. Sorry, bud, but yeah. This actual card was not actually themed in the anime, but was actually themed in the manga, surprisingly. Yes, I know this is not an anime exclusive card, this was a manga card, and came into the real world. Next we had Void Strike Dragon Zero Gagigas. I hope I said that right. A level 9 Dark Attribute High Dragon Fusion Effect monster with 33,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Its fusion material is Null Strike Dragon Zero Geas and Clad Soul Dragon Gagias. The requirement's effect is to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Its multi-choice effect, being its first one, is change the original attack of up to 3 face-up monsters you put in the field to 0 until the end of this turn. This card can make 2 attacks on monsters during this turn. Or its second effect being destroy 1 spell trap card in your opponent's field, then you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard face up to the field. So it having both the effects of, Cloud of Gagias and Zero Geas kind of just make this actually, again, one of the few battle ones. However, again, as all Dragias cards have, is a limitation. Being this monster is made of 2 level 7 monsters. So let's say, for example, you had a way to summon use one monster to class 2 tributes, and obviously you had all your other stuff. At best, you can get a level 1 of your tribute monsters out, and then you're kind of stuck. Also, because these monsters are from the manga, this is also a manga fusion card, but to be fair, I don't see how these cards actually, can actually coexist together. That's the thing with some Dragias cards, like, their effects all seem good, it's just they don't seem to really fit into one archetype. The only thing that makes it all together is the ability to attack twice. Obviously, Cloudine's case, Obviously, Gagius' case is a special summons one back, and it gives it a boost. But in this case, it's just, oh, I destroy a card in your field, and then I get special one back from the graveyard. Attack. Oh no, I got Mirror Force. But yeah. Again, a really cool concept, and I really like the fusion. It's just not executed very well. So onto the spells and traps. Now you're thinking, as last time we covered, Seven's Road, you think, oh my god, there's so many Sevens, there must be so many, Strike Dragon cards. No. There are 4 spells for this archetype. And I had to dig so deep to find these. First we have Hypernova, a normal spell card with the requirement of having 2 face-up non-light attribute dragon monsters on your field. Special summon 1 light attribute monster, dragon type monster from your graveyard face to your field. It having this very specific limitation kind of hurts the card in a way you would not think. Well, in every way you would think, should I say. Having to have 2 level 7 monsters automatic in the field being non-light and dragon, and then you get special 1 back from the graveyard. Like, again, this card main reason for existence was literally supposed to be like an anime only happening moment, being the way that Luke summons Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius from the graveyard while having Illusion Strike Dragon Dragius and Mirage and Steel Strike Dragon Metagius on the field. That is its only existence, but it's still such a good card, but it's so limited. And I mean very limited. Next we have Dragonic Geas, a normal spell card with the requirement of sending 1 level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. To show 1 face-up card defense position monster your opponent controls, then all face-up monsters your opponent controls loses 2,500 attack until the end of this turn. Now again, I know what this seems like, and unfortunately, yeah, oh my god, this is actually really good. You don't need a certain monster on the field, and it does an amazing effect. This is a really good card. Yeah, it is really good. Except one little tiny detail you forgot to include. It's anime exclusive. I am not kidding. This is one of the few better cards, and it's literally anime exclusive. God damn it! Why do you hate us, Konami? Like, I would love to have this card for the Strike Dragons, but no. I hate this. Next we have Future Mining, a normal spell card with the requirement of your opponent having 2 face-up monsters in the field. Let's give it the top 2 cards, and you can either add 1 card from your hand to add 1 activated card to your hand, and then replace your cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Again, this is for Piercing Dragon, Bunker Strike, as it's classed as obviously its effect move card. So you have like Burst Destruction for Blue Eyes, Inferno Fire Blast for Red Eyes, Dark Magic Attack. This is just one of them, but again, it's still classed as a Strike Dragon card. So yeah, its existence is very miniature, and I would not recommend playing this at all, unless it's Duel Links. Then we have Geas X Geas, a normal spell card with the requirement of sending 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Target 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field. It loses 1,500 attack until the end of this turn. Then you can choose 1 face-up monster on your field with the same level and type as that monster, and if you do, that monster can make 2 attacks this turn. This being literally, I'm not gonna lie, other than Dragius, the best actual Strike Dragon card to exist, because it is a blank state requirement that if you didn't literally read into the card and go into literally Wikipedia to understand it, you would not know it's a Strike Dragon card. I am not joking. You could literally go onto Google, type in Wikipedia, and look up Geas X Geas. and when you go to what archetype it supports, it will say Strike Dragon. This being such a versatile card for a series of monsters for me to form this archetype is literally stressful. And I believe I literally don't have any other spell cards. Those are the only 4. So with what we have, what decks can they work in? I'm not gonna lie to you, they are extremely limited. Because I'm not gonna lie, Dragons will always forever have a home in 7 Wonder Turbo. I know this is not on the date list because of, ban list changes, but I apologize. But I am not kidding when I say this. Dragons is literally the main reason to play 7 Wonder Turbo. Because of fucking Seven's Gears. But I'm gonna, if you guys really want to try and push the Strike Dragons into into its own deck, I recommend doing so. But for the list I have on screen on the left, don't copy it. I'm gonna say this now: don't copy it, because I don't want you guys losing your games, then raging at me because this deck is terrible. Yeah. You copy this list. I did not tell you to do it. This is what I believe can work. But if you guys have any suggestion of how the deck can work, like a full-fledged Strike Dragon deck can work, please leave it in the comments. So without any further ado, my name is Yugioh. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want, put whatever archetype you want me to go into next for Rush Duels, and I will do my best to do as much research on it as I can and make sure you have all the information you need. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Yugioh signing out.